And Taman, I believe you spelled that Etymonline.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna deal with the conflicting reports. We're gonna deal with why would the AI overview even make this suggestion? Why would AI overlook something as simple or something as notable as Etum Online? Why would AI overlook that? But we're gonna get to the etymology, correct? We're gonna get to it, but I gotta ask ourselves a question. Why would AI overlook the etymology of the word Indian? Let's investigate. Let's investigate. So I asked AI, who was the first people identified as Indians? And according to the overview, the first people identified as Indians by Europeans were the indigenous inhabitants of the Americas. We're just gonna leave that right there. Now I'm gonna ask another question. Right? First we're gonna go to Etum. Let's go to Etum.
Okay. Well, the reason it would be diametrically opposed of information is because one is you doing real official research and one is you doing artificial
We
research.
finna do some.
So
We finna do some official research right now. Right?
right,
I got
yeah,
a
yeah.
research. You a research expert, right? So don't let me err. We finna do some legitimate research into the subject matter right here and right now. Your first suggestion was Etum Online. Let's go there. Let's visit.
Yeah, why not? I feel like it's a wise choice. It gives you the word, the history of how the word was used, who it was used from, the dating, who it was applied to next later on in history, and how it's also applied today. So I believe it's very valid for the word.
Inhabited of India or South Asia pertaining to India. C. 1300. Noun and adjective. From late Latin. Indianas. So would Indianas would Indianas, if it's coming from Latin, are we saying that the Latins are the first ones to call the inhabitants of India Indian?
Well, I guess any Latin group speak people. So Latin is a script. So there's a lot of language groups that's off of the Latin script. So it could have been anybody. It could have been a Portuguese, a French, an Italian, a Greek. All these are used in form of Latin script. But like it says right there in the Entomine, it says it's pertaining to South Asians or inhabitants of India. You feel me?
Okay,
That's from
let's
the
see if we
third,
can make
that's
let's
from the 13th century, which is roughly around 192 years before Christopher Columbus.
okay, let's see if we can make some sense out of this, okay? Because right under that,
It don't
it
make
says
sense right now to you. It don't make sense right now.
no, it does not make sense to me right now for one reason, and I'm going to explain to you why it don't make sense to me. But let's just
Okay.
finish the first part of the definition. Applied to the Aboriginal native inhabitants of the Americas from at least 1553 as a noun. Okay, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why this application already being utilized for the Indians in Southeast Asia now being applied to the Aboriginal native inhabitants of the Americas don't make sense. Let me tell you why that don't make sense, right? Because the people who would have been using the word Indian would have already had at least foregoing knowledge of a people who were already being at least described as Indian. So why would they say? This is my question. Why would they call a whole different cultural group from a whole different regional or hemisphere locale the same thing as these other people? Why would they do that?
Oh, because I think it's quite easy to answer that because when we start looking at South Asia and in India in particularly, uh, they're a dark skinned group of people that's of the Asian stock, whether you know it or not. India is considered Asia. They're dark. They're some of the darkest skinned people on the planet. And referring to some of the dark skinned Native American people here, which you see the pictures of that you often see. that's who they was referring to. They said they look similar to these people. You know what I'm saying?
So Native Americans, right? Because you saying Native Americans is the ones they was calling Indians, not
yeah,
the
Native
niggas.
Americans, who I'm also saying is Asians, and I'm saying that East Indian is part of the Asian continent as well. So it wouldn't be too much confusion. They're both
So
Asian technically.
you're saying that the East Indians, right? The dark-skinned East Indians have similar characteristics as the Native Americans.
As some of the earlier Native Americans that was encountered here. Yes.
All right, let's see if we can contrast these images. All right, we go step by step. Let's get the images of
East so they ain't gonna have images from the 1500s, but you can probably go to the 1800s, maybe even recreations, lithographs from the 1700s, or some of the early images of Native Americans. So let's put up dark images of dark Native Americans from the earliest photos of them. That's all you got to do.
Wait a minute. Why would I have to put dark in there if they was already dark? They just should.
Well, no. Well, you just find oldest photos of Native Americans in America. Right. Oh, I put them up. Shit, it ain't hard. Let me see. I got a couple images lined up too. Some of the earliest images of Native Americans.
All right, these are images of East Indians right here. But they also got images of Native Americans in this too. So I don't know why they gave me the image of Native Americans when I asked for the images of East Indians in the 1800s.
Because they're the same people.
And your people smoke?
Okay, this the East Indians right here. The third picture. In the first picture, this is a Native American. In the second picture, I don't know. I'm not seeing no. I'm not seeing a degree of similarity.
Well, the thing is, you're showing the actual photograph to an actual lithograph or painter's artistry rendition. So what the best thing you need to do is compare photo to photo or rendition to rendition.
All right, come on, let's don't do that then. Don't be biased though, nigga. Don't be trying to find the most similar to individuals from both. I want to see images of a whole lot of them together. Not no one nigga that look like this one nigga. Come on, bro. Don't do it like that. Show some photos of them and show some photos of them other motherfuckers. And then we can do a comparison.
Yeah, they look similar. That's why they called them.
Shut the hell up. I ain't talking to you.
I'm just saying, Smoke.
What this for? I'm taking my screen down. Come on with them images. Nigga gonna learn today. Talking about we not the Indians. We was just over here. We was already black people when they showed up. Okay. Yeah, it was black people and Indians over here when the Europeans showed up. Okay.
There was not any black people over here, brother. You need to stop that shit, nigga.
I'm gonna just run through a gang of photos. What it is, you can just pull it up so you know it ain't no bias. You can just pull up earliest photos of Native American smoke. Just run through them and then pull up earliest photos of East Indian peoples. It's just that simple.
That's why shit West Indies, nigga.
But in a nutshell, there's a lot
And
more that come with this smoke of why I say that though.
and call this bitch Negro land.
We not Africans.
Who ain't Africans?
My peoples and smoke peoples and my people and Big Dog's peoples and Derek's peoples and Empress Goddess Namaste's peoples. Maybe your peoples is. So I'm not gonna talk for you. But
So y'all
I got it in the
descend from
background.
some.
I got it in the background. Hold on, I got a little Irvin to do real quick. Y'all.
Hey, so
y'all
y'all
talking about-
descend from some black people that are not human. That what you saying?
we stand from black people that is not African, just like you could stimulate from a Australian, a Northwest Pacific Islander, or even a Negrito.
So do y'all descend from one of them?
Island. Huh?
Do y'all descend from
We
one of them?
descend from
I would descend
we
from a
descend
damn
from
black
Americans.
before I descend from an African, nigga. I don't descend
your
from no
beef
African.
is-
I descend
Descend-
from America.
You just so you just don't want to be a
A
descendant of African.
starving African, right?
So you
But if
have
I
to
was
lace up.
African, I would embrace it though.
Nah, bro. You used to embrace
If
it.
I was
I
African,
don't know what
I
happened
would
to you. You used to embrace it. You used to be
I
a
used to-
proud African American.
Yeah, I did, man. I thought I was African. I try to look for my
See
culture.
what I'm saying? I don't know why you drunk that pausing, but you did.
Nah, bro. I study this shit, bro. I really study
Nah,
this
you
shit
can't study this shit,
instead of
AP,
regurgitating this
because
shit
you done
like
been
you. So when I studied with the
AP.
greats.
Check
And
it
I
out.
was able to understood that all you niggas is dumb for thinking that we African, bro.
Hey, check this out, AP.
At some point in time when you grow up and move out your mom's house, you're gonna realize that you're not an African, bro. It's really gonna hit you. You feel
Hey,
me?
check this out,
Knowledge
AP.
itself is gonna hit you, fam.
Hey, AP, check this out. You was raised in an African American household, right? You did African American shit growing up.
No, I didn't. I didn't do nothing African American.
How
I
many
never
power
even heard
wives
nobody
your
even
mother
use that
fought?
term.
How many power wives your
I
What
mother?
the
never
fuck
heard
is
nobody
African
even
American
use that
shit?
term.
How many power
I
wives
never
your
heard
mom
no. What
took
is
you to?
African American culture? What is African American culture? Can you explain that? Because matter of fact, the term African American only became available in usage after the 80s, bro. I got fucking
1988.
Hey,
yeah, I got football
listen,
jerseys
you
older
asking
than
too
that,
many
bro. So
questions
what
at
is
one
a
time,
fucking
right?
what is damn African American culture?
Hey, you
bro?
asking too many
Explain that.
questions at one time, right?
I know.
Let me listen. You
I
asked
don't
me
want to
to
talk to you.
explain.
I want to talk to. Listen, I'm asking questions because I want to know something smart, and obviously I'm talking to a dummy. So I'm
You
gonna
can't
reserve talking
listen. You
to a dummy
cannot,
right now. Go ahead.
brother. This is why your channel ain't shit right now, right? Because you want to hear motherfuckers feel good music. You want motherfuckers to believe your lie. You don't want nobody to challenge your ridiculous opinion, right? This is why you scared to come outside. You will show up the smoke channel, but you ain't going nowhere else where they gonna challenge your motherfucking
Man, you tell us what the fuck African American shit is.
hip
Fuck
hop.
all the
He did all
bullshit.
Hip hop.
What the
and all
fuck is
that. Dr.
nigga? We
Hip hop.
just
He
tell us what the
Rapping.
fuck African American shit is,
Hip
then we
hop.
can talk.
Regurgitate.
Nigga, hip hop ain't African American.
Hip hop. Know what I'm saying?
Name it.
All that shit is
Okay.
African American culture, brother.
Hold up.
Hey, hold up.
First of
Let me
all,
say something, brother, because y'all
hip
niggas
hop
keep
started
moving
before the
goalposts.
term African American
Hey,
even
I'm gonna let y'all
existed.
argue with yourself, nigga. Y'all want to echo
Yeah,
chamber.
shut
I
the
ain't want to
fuck
argue
up.
with
We
you,
don't want to
nigga.
hear
One at a
your ass.
time, bro.
Nigga,
Mute
what
up,
you
man.
saying? Okay, how the fuck is it
This that
African
faggot
American
ass shit
culture?
you doing now,
Nigga,
AP. You gonna mute me, nigga?
Hip hop started long before the term African American was legal.
Brother, calm down, fam.
So how's it
I
hip
don't
hop
need
culture?
a lecture about how African
Yeah,
American
African
came into
American
understanding.
hip hop culture, fool. When
Check it out,
when
bro.
hip hop started long before the term African American was
No,
even in
brother,
use,
calm
you damn
down.
fool. You know, you
Calm
calm
down,
down,
fam.
you slow bammer.
Brother,
You come down here
listen.
talking that pseudo ass
Brother, this is
nonsense,
why your
and you
channel
want our
ain't
people to
shit now. This
believe
is
a
why your
damn
channel
drunk
ain't shit.
bammer.
See what I'm saying?
Come
You
on,
finna
man.
fuck
Shut
up the
this shit
vibe,
up,
bro.
man.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you weird ass
Bro,
niggas.
we don't want to have a conversation with you,
See, you
Robert
want to
Lee.
be a coach.
I was
See, me and
talking to
Smoke was
Smoke
doing
Signal.
fine before you
I was
showed up,
talking
brother.
to Smoke Signal, and he
Ro-
left out the
okay,
This shit gonna
conversation.
get shut
He
down
hold
invited
on.
early
back.
because nobody gonna
Your
want to hear
dumb
nothing
Robert
ass
what
Lee.
you
listening
talking about.
if
All right,
somebody
I'ma
wanted
leave.
to
It
Robert
y'all
talk
Lee.
have
to
it.
your
Watch
ass.
how this
Robert
shit
Lee.
die, nigga.
Respectfully,
This shit'll be over by
listen.
fucking by 7, 8 o'clock, nigga. You didn't
Just
fucked it up,
listen.
nigga.
Just
You want to
listen,
hear
bro.
feel good music, nigga, with your pussy
I
ass nigga,
heard. Listen,
fat
bro.
bitch ass
100.
nigga.
In 1988, I graduated high school. Now I have been listening to hip hop, nigga, since I was 7 or 8 years old, with the Sugar Hill Gang. So how can you tell me that that's African American culture when I was doing this shit 10 years before, or listening to this shit 10 years before African American was even a fucking term? In the 70s, there were no African Americans. There was only Negro Americans. So what are you talking about?
Man, that's what I'm saying. You letting this old crackhead ass nigga come up here and talk all day, ain't got nothing to say. You must be on that
Man,
Tito's. And that nigga on that Tito's or that Kamachaka talking that crackhead ass shit in his mama house. I know your mama be tired of hearing you talk that nonsense.
that nigga talking some bullshit. That's what I'm saying. I get tired of this. I get tired of hearing about this whole African shit because it don't even make
It's
sense.
dumb.
And
Nobody believes
how
in the
the fuck
youth.
do
Nobody.
how the fuck do adults still believe this shit? How the fuck that? Come on, man. You gotta,
Yeah,
man.
real adults don't believe that shit no more. Only these little old men who's young minded. Like I said, he still lives with his mother. You know what I'm saying? So you can't listen to this nigga. This nigga off
Ah,
that Tito's getting fried over here.
that's what I'm saying. Like, and the more we go through this history, the more we find in the motherfucking mistakes.
And he doing them
You know what
boiler
I'm saying?
makers. He in the house, it's cold. He off them boiler makers, Derek. He's drinking beer and Tito's. You feel what
Hey,
I'm
man,
saying?
that he need to lay off that shit then,
Yeah,
cause it's
he
time you start thinking straight. It's time we start really thinking straight around this motherfucker because it's time to start looking at all these little bitty clues and how the fuck this shit really work out. Because there's some legitimate evidence that leads you to some misunderstanding. And how
man,
the fuck you have these misunderstandings? Okay, I realized yesterday when we was on here talking. If there was only 10 black people, Negroes in the government in 1864, but in 1865 it was over 2,000 Negroes in government. But the only thing that happened between 1864 and 1865 was the agreement between the Union and the Confederate to come together.
right to create the white union workers establishment.
Okay, so now what I'm understanding is, so if there was only 10 in 1864, that's the Union counting their people. Now in 1865, when they came together, now that's the count of everybody. So that's saying that the Confederate was all Negro governed. So now if the Confederate is all Negro governed, nigga, we need to look at this shit a whole different way.
Right. That's why I got a good
Period.
book to read, man. I got a good book, Derek. It's called The Forgotten Cause of the Civil War. It's a fire ass book.
Because the one thing I do know and understand is that means the Confederacy was around and thriving long before they told us this shit happened.
long before.
That puts a different stance on where we sit. Because what me and Smoke was talking about, the fact that you can't move niggas today in 2026, nigga, that says a lot. And everybody else in the world right now is wondering why you can't move niggas, Mr. Mighty Mighty White Man. You don't like these niggas. You got the whole world believing these niggas are your burden. We come here to help you destroy these people. But you telling me you can't make them go, but you can make all of us go? Nigga, something ain't right, huh? Y'all, we need to look at this shit a whole different way.
Yeah, you gotta really look at that shit and examine history, man. Cause that shit ain't what you think it is. When you start looking at these regiments, whether it's from the 36th Regiment from Mississippi, Alabama, and you will see some type of indigenous tribe on our Catawba. You feel me? You go look at the 38th Regiment from Tennessee, Alabama, Lookout Mountain. You will see Shalom. You will see Blackfoot. You will see Chickamauga on the flags, on the Confederate flags, the regiment, nation, district flags, man. So, indigenous peoples had a lot to do with the creation, and Negroes had a lot to do with the creation of the Confederates. As a matter of fact, Confederates go back long before a civil war. There was Confederates created in alignments and regiments created by indigenous people going back to the 1500s. I have at least
But what
literature.
and that's what I'm saying. This shit we don't know as a people. Because the Confederate have their own constitution. So that means they their own people.
Man, they have their
Period.
own thing. The South operates off of Confederate energy. As a matter of fact, I lived up north for a while. And, the kids get out for their regular holidays. But one thing I didn't notice, there is no Confederate Day up north. But down south, in these largely dominant Confederate states, they have a Confederate holiday that is respected,
Yeah.
districtly, regionally.
Hell
The
yeah.
schools let out everything for the
In
Confederate
New
holiday.
Orleans, it's the same way. Hell yeah.
Right. Man, I
But
tried to stop the
now,
story today, but it kept going anyways. It didn't listen to me.
but
It's,
now, hey, Ab, I need to know one thing though. Was the Confederate government, was it actually stopped, or actually is it still going today with just misrepresentation?
no, it was assimilated. It got dissolved into what we
Okay,
call the states.
how did they dissolve them?
By those contractual contracts and agreements with the white union workers after the war, after the alleged court battle, and creating these United States compounds and establishing the United States law, creating and making this thing one United States. Because you could do some shit in Maryland, in the state of Maryland, and it has its own government, its own laws, its own jurisdiction. You could smoke a
Right.
nigga in Maryland and be on the run and skipped out to Texas and become the mayor or the governor in Texas. You feel what I'm saying? Which is crazy. So they created the United States where everything was interworking, interconnected, and go. So yeah, that's what that shit is about, bro.
Okay, so when they came together, and these 2,000 people were in office. That's Negroes from this Confederacy, right? What I don't understand is how come they just didn't get rid of these motherfuckers off top? Why did it take them so long? Because like the coups didn't happen until like the 1889. Like, why did it take them so long to get rid of these particular black people out of Congress?
Well, I think it took for them to get enough manpower and have enough judicial backing for them to physically do it. Because places like Durham, North Carolina, that was majority being the local government there was dominantly Negroes, physically got overturned by a coup d'etat and a mob of angry pale skins.
Right.
You feel what I'm
Right. And that was like 1889 though. See, that
Yeah.
didn't happen like right after. It took them a minute to get it. And you
Yeah,
got to
they had to
think, the only
build up.
thing,
You gotta
no,
realize they had to
right.
build up the manpower. A lot of the whites didn't have shit prior to slavery. They didn't have shit really directly afterwards in 1866. You gotta realize these motherfuckers struggled. They really was
No,
struggling.
no,
You feel me? They just got free because they was really the slaves. You feel what I'm saying? When you really break this shit down,
no,
they
you're right.
just got free.
Because, all right, when did they dissolve the Freedmen's Banks?
Shit, the
Wasn't that
Freeman
like
Bank.
1879?
Shit, that was probably like the last Freeman Bank, but they had started being compromised around 1866, directly after the war.
No, no, no. That's what I'm saying. You got to think about it as a money grab. They're collecting the money in the 60s, and then they dissolving it in the 70s. So by 1979, it was over. They used that money to do what you just said, fund their whole little situation that's about to come next.
Yeah, they
Because
stole them people.
what comes next is we gonna come with the armed brigades, and we gonna start physically removing these motherfuckers from office. And now we got a little bit of change to do it with.
That should be a whole movie about the Durham riots and attack because it ain't like they knew that these people was coming. It was a sneak attack. It was an ambush attack, and nobody knew that it was going to happen. People were living their daily lives, doing their regular shit, living in black
Yeah,
thriving societies.
yeah. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like that part of history ain't talked about because at that time, these people really still living under a whole different system. Because this system of Confederacy and how they was living, this shit went on for a millennium. Because you can't show me where it stopped. I mean, you really can't tell me about this particular government. Only thing you can tell me is it ended in 1875, supposedly. Okay, sound like y'all came together to do business. So that ain't ending. What ended was the 30 years after when y'all had no more motherfuckers in the office. Between 1870 and 1900 is when they got rid of all the black people in office. By 1900 to 1930, they switched up the money. By 1930 to 1960, they done drained everything from the black side to the white side.
Superman, grateful. What's the word?
Uh,
Peace to the channel. Peace to the channel. Fuck the chat.
wellness. But let's Derek. That's a good question that you posed. What happened within the 1800s that said power changed hands? That's very valid. So if we do a dig, a dive into that, What happened to change the hands of position that so-called was the ones that was here not to be of a monetary, but to be of a a likeness of just tilling the land? Is I'm gonna say it like that. So Derek, what do you think happened during the transverse of said power? Because you always say power, right? What do you think took place during those times that the power changed hands?
The implementation of the Jim Crow laws in 1877 was the start of it changing power.
So you will put it solely on a Jim Crow law that said that particular law just took over millions of folks' minds, that infrastructure can just come in and basically usurp you for you to then fall in line with their narration. Like make it make. I want us to dialogue here. Make it make
The
sense that
Jim
we was
the Jim
yeah.
Crow
I'm gonna ask you
Jim
again
Crow
before you
is
answer.
not a law. Jim Crow is a
No.
100-year era.
So no, you talk about a narration though, because the Jim Crow law was basically them putting out a wording, which would be a pamphlet or a book or whatever it is, that then said this is what it is, and if you so-called people don't fall in line with this, then you're gonna have problems. So I'm asking you to explain to us, how does something that holds so much weight even today in 2026, that we don't hold no type of, you know, if you would say power in our hands, how does it take over us? Is also said beings that it's so powerful that we don't fight it right then and there.
Man, what kind of motherfucking question was that, man? Come on, let's get back to the Indians and the Indians, man. Y'all tripping. Where AP go? Mic check, mic check. Where do you niggas go?
Hey, Smoke, I tell you this: the Confederacy and the American Indian is one and the same. I can
I ain't got
guarantee
no.
you
I
that.
don't got no. Yeah, I don't got no dispute with that. I mean, from what I heard, it was all type of Indian confederacies. There's all type of Indian confederacies going on. So why would I say that one wasn't a damn Indian confederacy?
That also means that this is an Indian government.
Correct.
Okay, but wait a minute. The open dispute is that niggas wasn't called Indians. So who y'all talking about when y'all saying Indians? Native Americans? East Indians?
No,
No,
no.
Hindustans? Come on,
I
Dap,
don't
where
know.
you at, bro?
I don't know nothing about them, but I can tell you what's going
oh
on right here.
yeah. Fuck.
Oh,
I can
Bell
tell you
swung.
two things.
Oh man, Bell swung and then left. And then we gonna get back to that who the Indian shit. All right,
No,
y'all
that's
can go back to y'all goddamn Civil War,
no
Jim Crow,
Smoke
whatever the
because
fuck y'all talking about.
yeah, you can't disprove that the American don't have an Indian heritage. You can't disprove that. Period.
Man,
That's how you.
I'm trying to
That's the
say that
first.
the niggas I'm saying nigga Indian, same thing. That's what I say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only way to prove the American is through Indian heritage. That's the only way to describe the American. Truly. Them candy yams, the motherfucking that bop, yo, the way you walk, nigga, that chest up, your head up, chest out, that's American. That's American Indian. That's all that's us.
Hold on, what the chat talking about? They said somebody crashed. Savage, you crashed your shit, bro? You all right? Do
Damn,
we
he
need to
alright?
call ICE to get your ass out the ice storm, my nigga? What's up? He non-responding too. I hope this nigga all right. We got to call ICE on this nigga.
Oh shit.
So I would ask Derek a question. When you try to equate us to only being saying that we're Indian, right? Because I don't when I understand my people, I don't consider say we're just Indian. I consider us just born here. Like I'm just of here. I'm of lineage of here. Like it was never a title until titles was presented. So could you agree that your family just started adapting to narrations that was given?
Nah, you making shit up because ain't nobody never identified as us as I'm just of here. No one has ever done
Hold,
that until your ass showed up. You the only one say that shit. So
hold on.
no. Hold
Hold
on,
on.
no.
Like it look smoke.
That is not a damn that is not an accurate assessment. She the only one going around talking about I'm just over here. Her people don't say that shit. They
I can
identify
tell
as
you
something.
I can tell you right now. You eat candy yams, ma'am? Hello?
Yeah, no,
Where'd
I
she
don't.
go?
I can't. No, I don't like sweet potatoes.
You okay, you don't like sweet potatoes. You eat corn, you eat grits.
I do eat
When you
grits.
eat
I
fried
do eat
when you
corn.
eat okay, when you eat fried fish, do you put cornmeal on your fried fish?
No.
You eat snap peas? You eat
Yes.
any of these? All that's okay. That's an Indian crop. You listen to blues, any kind of bebop, that 1-3 rhythm. That's Indian culture.
Okay, so I would
You
ask
drive a
you.
car. You drive a car. That's Indian culture. The house you live in is Indian culture. That's all your heritage. Your people just didn't evolve into that. They the ones evolved it into what it is. That's the problem. When you say American culture, you're supposed to look in the mirror. You're the American. And all that is American culture is your ancestry. Period.
It's a powerful testimony, brother. Powerful testimony. Anybody else want to step up to the altar?
Peace to the gods.
Oh shit. That Darvish Baylock in the building. What's up with you?
Peace, peace, peace.
Well, I'm gonna say wellness, and Derek, I want to ask you again, right? Because when we come to terms and we speak about names, right? Name calling, whether it's so-called black, whether it's Indian, whatever it is that attaches it to a said an American, right? If you look at yourself from a young jit, right? You never or your folks never placed a title on you. They just simply told you, from what I gather from just my only walk in life, they just said you are. It was never a narration or a narrative placed on you. So I would like to ask you, when did you adapt certain terms, Derek? When did you adapt certain terms that you said it was definitely that's what it was, and then you positioned yourself after those terms? When did that happen?
What terms you talking about?
Indian.
You mean okay, the term American Indian? Oh, that's very easy. See, I was raised American. From my mom to my grandmother to my great grandmother. That's what I seen. My grandmother wore baseball caps, looked at football games, watched the soap operas, did American shit all her life. My grandfather, same way. Went to the military, did his thing in the military, came home, raised his family. That's American. Ain't that what they tell us today? But they put a white face on it. I lived it before they put a white face on it. Now the Indian shit is heritage. I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana. They still roam the streets today. They roam the same streets that I was a kid in. Them same Indians. Red beans and rice, Indian. Gumbo, Indian. Gumbo filet, I can prove it. Sassafras, Indian crop. Shit, Indian crop. So if my grandmama came from Africa, how the fuck she know about Indian shit? Snap peas. I used to hate them motherfuckers. Why? Because it'd be 2 buckets waiting over us. But I love to eat them. Indian. Name somebody that's of us that if you fry some seafood and you ain't put cornmeal on it, nigga, they looking at you funny. And we the only people who do that.
You said put cornmeal on seafood?
Who else do it besides us? Yeah, go ahead.
Darvish don't do it. He European.
Oh, see, he's from over there.
Motherfucker Superman.
I'm just saying, like you gotta.
I would say this though.
We don't have to put no terms on this shit. We live this shit.
I don't really want to get in the argument behind the Indian thing, but I would say this though. We was eating food before the term was placed on us. We was living and singing and building before that term was put on us.
So, Derek, I'm gonna ask you again. Where did you start adapting their terms to then define what we was already naturally doing? So, where in it did you say that? Listen, that yeah, you know what, we did this and that? Because for me, it was just we were just us. We're just simply being that is a being in this experience doing what we always do, right? So I'm asking you, where did you adapt the ways that you didn't place titles on what you was doing?
The title that I'm putting on it is the correct title.
Everything that is done gets a title attached to it to separate it from every other thing that is being done. Otherwise, no one can be able to communicate if you didn't have these particular titles to define the things that are being done. Y'all having such an illogical ass conversation.
But no, Smoke, it's not illogical. If we're gonna walk through this walk, because y'all talk about information, right? And you're getting into the aspect of said 1400, 13, 14, 12, whatever, and you're adding up to this, you have to then place yourself in what was the narrative to then give yourself this place and point, which is a sitting point, which is somewhere in your psyche that you set in, and you said, you know what? I actually agree with this. So I'm trying to get into Derek's head to then ask him, where did you agree with the fact that not only so-called you was given this from your ancestors, right? So then the footing after your ancestors came through what? It said book. So where in your ideology are you sitting through all of that?
My life. My life ain't a book. My life.
So you do agree with me.
I was
Come on.
raised
Let me bring you to the altar.
American.
I'm about to use Superman word. Come to the altar. Go ahead.
We live an all American life. We know nothing else. We've never known nothing else. We were never taught nothing else. We were taught the American way at our house, period. Now, when we went to school, they taught us a story about this African shit. Now, when you live long enough, you realize, nigga, that ain't got nothing to do with me at all.
I have a question.
Because you can't trace Africa to us. You can't trace us to Africa.
That shit dead, bro. You pause. All you motherfucking A students in history, what else did you learn in school? Y'all keep saying they told us this in school. What else did you learn? Did you learn math? Did you learn science? Did you learn about health? Y'all concentrate on this bullshit that they taught you in school. Ain't none of you motherfuckers get no A in history.
Okay, you tell us the history then. You got an A.
No, motherfucker, you the one talking about what they taught you, and none of you motherfuckers paid attention until you got on
what?
the internet.
Smoke, can you end my live, please? Go ahead and end my live, Smoke. Thank you.
To what? Tell us about this history we don't know about.
All y'all got A's in history.
No, tell me about this Confederacy we don't know about.
A in history. Did you get an A in history?